let's start with the big picture. What gap do you see in the market that Azul's new managed service provider program is trying to address? And how does it uniquely support partners compared to other offerings?
So, so what's sort of interesting is that over a number of years, well, obviously we've been selling alternative licensing to Oracle. A lot of customers in this space typically go to our partners first before they come to us, and that's because they want independent advice. They want to be understand their licensing constraints or their obligations and compliance, and really approach that from a perspective of looking at the right alternatives. So during that period of time, we found that the tool sets that people have been using in that area are somewhat limiting. They only focus on what's installed, right? They don't focus on what's actually being used. Conversely, we have a solution that is Intelligence Cloud that does exactly that. It creates a live Java inventory. It does a whole bunch of things I'm sure we'll talk about in a minute. But in that context, it's less about the customer just wanting to use our product by itself. It's more about it's adding value to the service that a partner is delivering. So in essence, the whole managed service provider program was born from the fact that partners have been coming to us for some time saying, can you help us get to a better understanding of actual Java use, and therefore the obligations and complexities that relate to how they need to advise their customers. And this is way beyond the other tool sets, whether it's ServiceNow or it's Flexera or even manual scripting that they've been using in the past. So that's a component of Intelligence Cloud that we call JVMI, which is a Java inventory capability.
I'm also curious, how hands-on is the Azul team when it comes to onboarding and enabling MSPs? Are you just providing tooling solutions, or you actually actively support partners in implementing and delivering these services?
So I think you probably know from other conversations. So we pride ourselves on customer excellence and customer success. That's no different in the MSP world. We have a very specific provisioning process that spins up instances that partners can use for their customers. It's part of our MSP model with regular monthly reporting, things like that, as well as decommissioning. So we do operate more of a dedicated model, but just because of things like DORA or GDPR or particular boundaries around data use. We're not trying to commingle Java data with it in any other between customers. It's dedicated that we provide per partner for their customer. So, but it's a very specific process that's fully supported, and we pride ourselves on the excellence around that enablement and provisioning for that. I would like to add a couple of things as well. We've invested very heavily in certainly the first part of this calendar year on brand new training for all types of partners, but that includes our MSP partners as well, so that they get to understand how truly to leverage this through professional online training. Very different to the type of thing that normally comes out of a tech company, which is a lot of sort of recorded presentations or content. We've built very specific learning management segments to improve their ability to get up to speed quickly.
And in that context, since you're offering this as a white label solution powered by Azul, what does that mean for partners in terms of branding, customer ownership, and revenue generation?
Well, there's two or three different models in the MSP world, right? The way you can operate, but white labeling is very specifically, that's basically shielding the customer from really understanding if Azul is being used in the background or not. So what we do provide to our MSP partners is the ability to white label. They're effectively our customer, and they are then using that technology for their customers, but the customer's not accessing it themselves. The partner is, and then they're providing the intelligence, the interpretation back to those customers. By white labeling, we mean that effectively the customer's branding the delivery of that information as their own, right, as opposed to Azul. All that we ask is ideally, if they can, just powered by Azul somewhere, just to show that it's actually that our intelligence platform on the back end that's sort of like delivering that data set. But of course, it's a bit like if you have a car and you're driving down the road and you're trying to understand where you're going and the direction you're going in, there's so much data coming in here, right? And that intelligence, that's coming into your car can be blasted around into different environments that are analyzing it depending on how connected that vehicle is in the world. Those solutions might use that data in different ways and analyze it, but of course the way that's delivered back to customers is usually a very unique type of approach that is owned either by the car manufacturer or something else. It's a very similar model within the Java world. We're creating all of that intelligence in our environment, but we're giving the partners the opportunity to interpret that and provide the right type of approach and delivery to their customers. So a good example is I've got customers right now that are doing security posture reports monthly, some of them weekly. They're doing compliance and audit reports monthly and sometimes weekly if a customer's concerned that maybe Oracle Java might creep back into their environment. We call that Oracle Defense. But Intelligence Cloud almost alerts that within a few minutes of someone actually using an Oracle instance when they're not supposed to be. We can say, hang on a minute, you just downloaded that, it's running. You need to stop doing that, and you need to go to whatever the strategy is from your licensing toolset and decommission that because you're out of compliance in that moment. That type of intelligence delivered by that partner as a managed service is gold in terms of their ability to drive value to their customers.
Before we wrap, you touched on something important. For MSPs who are just getting into this space and don't already have a Java advisory practice, what kind of conversation should they be having with customers?
As you start to get into this space, a lot of things come up as to, how would an MSP go and have a conversation, maybe if they're new to this space. To a large degree, a lot of our approach has been to support people that already have Java advisory practices are already delivering security posture reporting and things like that. But what happens if you're new, right? How do you go and start that conversation? Well, it's no different really, but those partners would have conversations like, what type of decision making are you trying to do make from a Java licensing perspective when they're talking to their customers? How do you know what's actually being used versus installed? I mean, for example, I probably have 3 versions of Java installed on my laptop. I'm only using one of them, right? So I could actually get rid of the other 2, and they're not really causing me a compliance obligation, right? Can you analyze how efficient your development teams are? Do you know whether they're maintaining code that's actually never used? Because you've been using Java for 25 years, how do you know that, right? And also the big one I think is that catches a lot of people out is, do you actively manage your Java environment from a security point of view? Are you patching? Do you know where your vulnerabilities are? Are you able to get to that better posture position? And it's those types of conversations that managed service partners are having or need to have. But when they do that, those customers realize that they could actually get better service from those partners and wrap it up in some sort of delivery that can be powered by Intelligence Cloud. So that's the real true opportunity for new partners as well.